Okay, so this is a request video. Somebody asked me to make a video about what it is like to be hospitalized because my mom did end up hospitalizing me for self-harm and cutting. But I've talked to a couple other people that have also been admitted to the hospital, and I'm learning that it's really different depending on where you are and what hospital you go to. But anyway, it was really, really stressful. But anyway, so what they did is, first my mom told them, when you walk in, you know, there's always the front desk people. Well, she said that I was having suicidal thoughts. So they ended up putting me in this white room. They ended up making me take off all my clothes but a robe, like a hospital gown, and got me to sit on a bed, well, lay on a bed, and I had to sit there for like ever, and there was cameras everywhere that was watching me. My mom was allowed in the room. I didn't want her there, but she had to stay there for some odd reason. And then, after I was in the hospital gown, they wanted me off like I was in an airport to make sure I didn't have any weapons on me. After that, they got someone to come in to ask me questions to see if I actually needed to be hospitalized. And they just asked basically a lot of questions about my self-harming and where it all started, how it began, if I had a suicide plan and thought kind of thing. And at the time I did. I still do, which is not good, by the way. But anyway, and so I told them that. They were not happy. And they ended up saying that I needed to be hospitalized. I was not happy to hear that, and I kept on telling myself over and over again I knew I should have lied. So I was freaking out, because at the time that was my biggest fear, was being hospitalized for this, because at the time I promised myself I'd never let it get that far. But anyway, so they didn't actually have a place for me at the hospital, so I had to ride in an ambulance. Actually, no, first they let me get back in my clothes after making sure that my clothing didn't have any weapons, at least. They wouldn't let my mom drive me to this place. They had to put me in an ambulance and drive me there, which was embarrassing as all hell. Okay? And my mom is the most stupidest person ever, okay? I was literally bawling my eyes out. I was freaking out. She was no help at all. They were loading me in the ambulance. She stopped then, took a picture, and told me to smile, because she's that messed up. I was obviously not happy. So she rode in the front of the ambulance, and I was in the back. And then there's, you know, a nice person in the back with me talking to me, and I was acting like absolutely nothing was wrong. I was like, what the freak is wrong with this woman? Does she know where I'm going? Does she realize what's going on? Because, I mean, she was just happy as ever, you know. I was like, what the freak? But anyway, and so I got there. Now, I do have to say where I was at the time, normally you only stay there to 5 to 7 days. Like, it's not long at all. Anyway, so I was there. I was freaking out. They did allow me to wear my clothes, but anyway, so I got there. They wouldn't let me, like, they strapped me into this freaking, like, bed thing on the ambulance because they said it was a crazy driver. Highly doubtful. But anyway, and so they would not let me get off the gurney until I was inside the building with a locked door. After that, I passed through another locked door. Like, I think I passed through 3 locked doors before they stopped, put me in a room, and let me get off the gurney, which was pretty sad. So basically, there was no way out after that, obviously. After that, they let my family stay with me, because at the time, my dad and my brother showed up, too, to support me and crap. I was still not happy about this at all. And so they basically asked me the same questions that the hospital asked me. They found out that I really did have to stay there, surprise, surprise. And so they basically were trying to be all nice. They were like, it's going to be okay, you know, crap like that. And then they had to take a photo ID of me, and I was just frowning, okay? And the lady was like, "Oh, smile, sweetie." And I'm like, "No, I'm not going to smile." And it was terrible, because everyone was all happy and smiley in a place where people wanted to kill themselves. It's like, really? Anyway, and so after that, they did let me end up wearing my own clothes after they made me get naked, again, in a hospital gown. And then they searched each piece of clothing I had extremely carefully, making sure I didn't have any weapons whatsoever on me that could possibly hurt me. They wouldn't let me wear necklaces, earrings, nothing. They wouldn't let you have a razor, obviously. And so I stayed there. They wouldn't even let you have floss. Anyway, so I stayed there for about a week, and I won't lie, it sucks, because at that point of my life, I was like so hooked on self-harming and cutting. Like, it was my addiction then, and I did not want to stop. I could not stop. It was worst week of my life. But you know, I started, I was getting better. It was okay. So then after about 5 days of me being there, they were like, "Well, you seem fine. We're gonna let you go." What they didn't know is I lied to get out. Nobody knew that, actually. But anyway, so I got out. I got home. My mom was all excited, gave me a huge hug. That's like absolutely nothing was wrong again. My whole family did the exact same thing as she did. And so I got home, and it was like this little welcome home party. My room was completely different. It was kind of nice, I won't lie. And so that's what it was like for me in the hospital. They let me have my own shampoo and conditioner, but they had to, like, test it for, like, drugs and crap. And they let you bring, like, a little duffel bag of clothes with you, but they also had to check all of this clothing, so it took, like, 3 hours for them to finally get done going through all my clothing, which was only, like, 3 pairs of outfits and, like, pajamas. But it took them forever to go through it, because they have to make sure nothing's there, and they wouldn't let me even have, like, drawstrings or anything. They wouldn't let me allow to have shoes with strings on them. And they also made sure I ate, because at that time I also didn't want to eat when I was upset. They made sure I ate. So that was not fun at all. And so yeah, that was what it was like at the hospital for me, and it sucked really, really bad. But honestly, if you feel like you need to go to the hospital, I would recommend it. Because I would say if I wouldn't have lied to get out, I wouldn't be as messed up as I am today. So if you do end up going to the hospital, don't lie to get out, because, yeah, you're gonna realize that that was a mistake. Even if you're, like, really, really wanting to kill yourself, just don't lie to get out. It's my biggest advice I can give you on that. And so, yeah, that is what it's like to be in a mental institution, and it's not fun at all. I'm lucky that mine only lasted like 5 days, because some last a lot longer than that. Like, I think this is the only one I've actually heard of that only lasts a week, but yeah. So that was not a fun experience for me, mainly because my family really did not make it easy at all. Also, how it started was my mom picked me up early from school, so she made sure I had absolutely no choice in getting out of this at all. Man, it was terrible. So yeah, but I mean, honestly, as bad as it was, I do regret lying to get out. But I wouldn't go back. No, I wouldn't go back at all. But so yeah, if you wanted to know, that is what it's like for me at the hospital. Bye, YouTube.